தேங்க்யூ. வேற எல்லாமே ரெடி தான். தேவா, செல்வா, செந்தில்?
Yeah, all good.
ஓகேங்க.
Yeah, please go ahead.
ஓகே, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நன்றி அண்ட் தேங்க்யூ. இந்த செமினார் வந்து எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ்லி ஃபார் தமிழ் கம்யூனிட்டி அரேஞ்ச்டு பை அரிசோனா தமிழ் சங்கம். நாங்கள் திருமதி சாரதா அவங்களோட டீமை காண்டாக்ட் பண்ணோன்னே இமீடியட்டாக ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஒத்துக்கிட்டாங்க. இந்த கிரைசிஸ் சுச்சுவேஷனில் நமக்கு என்ன கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருக்கோ அந்த கேள்வி எல்லாத்துக்கும் அவங்க ஆன்சர் பண்ண தயாராக இருக்காங்க. இன்னைக்கு இப்போதைக்கு நம்மளால எதுவும் அவங்க ஆன்சர் பண்ண முடியலன்னா யூ கேன் ஆல்வேஸ் ரீச் அவுட் டு தம் ஃபார் எனி பர்சனல் கன்சல்டேஷன் ஆர் ஜென்ரிக் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் எதுனாலும். ரொம்ப நேரம் நம்ம டைம் எடுத்துக்க விரும்பல, நேரம் ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் போயிடுவோம். அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நான் பல செஷனில் நடந்த இது ஒன்று தான். நிறையா நம்ம மைக்கை மியூட் பண்ணிடலாம் இப்போதைக்கு. கொஸ்டின்ஸ் அண்ட் செஷன் மேபி லேட்டர் வந்து நாங்கள் கலெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு லாஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின்ஸு, அதுக்கப்புறம் டைம் இருந்துச்சுன்னா இண்டிவிஜுவலாக கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்குறக்கு அளவு பண்ணலாம். நான் நிறைய கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்கும்பொழுது கிராஸாக நிறைய கால்ஸ் பேசிகிட்டே இருக்கும்போது கொஞ்சம் டஃப்பாக இருக்குது ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுறதுக்கு. இதுதான் செஷனோட ஃபார்மேட். தேங்க்யூ. சாரதா கோரம், ப்ளீஸ் ஸ்டார்ட்.
நன்றிங்க.
சாட்ல மெசேஜ் பண்ணிடுங்க, வில் டேக் இட் லேட்டர். தேங்க்ஸ் எவ்ரிவன்.
நான் ஒரு ஷேர் ரிக்வெஸ்ட் மாத்திரம் கொடுக்குறேன். எனக்கு இது பண்ணா நான் வந்து ஐ கேன் ஷேர் மை ஸ்க்ரீன்.
Yeah, allowed. Yeah, you can share.
தேங்க்யூ. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். என் பேர் சாரதா சங்கர்ராமன் கோட்டையம். நான் வந்து டாலஸில் இமிக்ரேஷன் அண்ட் கார்பரேட் அட்டர்னியாக இருக்கேன். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் ஃபார் ஹேவிங் மீ. குவிக்காக இந்த ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் வில் கோ த்ரூ இட். எனி கொஷன் ஐ ஆன்சர், ஐ டூ மை பெஸ்ட் டு ஆன்சர். நிறைய தெரிஞ்சது இருக்குது, நிறைய தெரியாதது இருக்குது. ஸோ I will have an honest discussion. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சதெல்லாம் I don't mind telling you, right? But let's go through this. So first a disclaimer, this is educational and information only. The solution to a legal problem is different because everyone has their own requirements, like நிறைய தெரிஞ்சுக்க வேண்டியிருக்கும். So please don't take this as the word of God. It is not. So let me go through what happened so far. Let's go through what has happened so far, what we know, what we don't know, right? That should answer a lot of questions. If not, I can always answer. So September 19th evening, in the Gundu Thuki Potanga, they actually came up and said, where is this? One second, sir.
Sure.
Do it this way. So September
ஷாரதா நீங்க சைடுல கீழே பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்க you will see 4 icons இல்லையா? Pick up the one with the page icon bottomல.
This one.
Yeah, there you go. Oops.
All right.
Yep. Good to go.
Okay. Okay. So 19th சாயங்காலம் குண்டு தூக்கி போட்டாங்க. There were 2 things that came out that on 19th. There was one, a H-1B proclamation that was announced by the White House, and then there is a gold card executive order that was announced. Rendum pretty much 5 minutes, 10 minutes difference la vandadu. Let's go over what happened with the proclamation. The proclamation, what they said was, they said it was a travel ban implemented as of September 21st, 2025 from 12:01 ET. Adha in the proclamation they mentioned. It also said there was 100,000 fee that has to be paid by people who are abroad and have to travel in. அதனால தான் அடிக்கப்படுக நாங்கள் எல்லாரையும் உள்ளே வர முடிஞ்சுன்னா உள்ளே வாங்கப்பான்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தோம். It also talked that B visas would be under scrutiny and there was going to be an increase in prevailing wage. In the Korapathula, we all forgot about the prevailing wage and B visa scrutiny. Then, gold card executive order ஒன்று பாஸ் பண்ணாங்க, where it said, டைரெக்டாக உங்களுக்கு க்ரீன் கார்டு கொடுத்துருவோம்ப்பா. If you have 1 million, it's a self-sponsored, an individual is able to give 1 million, or a company is able to give 2 million for that individual. But company they have to show national interest, exceptional business ability. The proclamation implement பண்றதுக்கு, like the process of collecting the 100,000, they had given 30 days, whereas gold card வந்து they said it is going to take 90 days to implement it. What is the difference between executive order and proclamation? The way they have done it, it is the same thing. It doesn't have a difference. Quite honestly, an executive order. So when we take the three pillars of the government, the Congress decides the fees and the act. The president, who's the executive, gets to decide how it should be implemented. So the president says, நீ இது பண்ணு அது பண்ணுன்னு different agencies-க்கு சொல்லணும். Proclamation, quite honestly, வந்து Holi is a national festival. சொல்றது தான் proclamation. It really is not an executive order. But the way they implemented it, they actually made it sound as an executive order. So there is a difference, but I don't think they cared about it. So let's go over what the proclamation really goes through. It said it's a restricted entry unless there is a 100,000 payment. It is for people abroad. It was supposed to prevent the misuse of B visas. You don't have to pay 100,000 if you are able to show national interest. What is national interest? அவங்க define பண்ணல, but they said so. They said before issuing the visa, Department of State will go ahead and look to see பைசா அந்த 100K pay பண்ணிருக்காங்களா இல்லையான்னு. Now, this is what came out on 19th morning, right? ஆனா அதுக்கப்புறம் it was a whiplash of different information that constantly kept coming in. So let me go through it, what all has happened since then. இது 19th அன்னைக்கு. 20th வந்து first White House press secretary announced that it is an annual fee. It is not an annual fee, it's a one-time fee. It does not apply for, it applies for lottery only. It is applied for lottery only. People who have visa can go in and out. It does not apply for renewals. No, அவங்க சொன்னாங்க. That is extensions, renewals, transfers. இதுக்கு வந்து it applies for it. Press secretary சொன்னா. But please remember, a tweet by the press secretary is not binding. It is just a tweet, right? அவங்க சொல்லி முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் USCIS director came in and passed a memo. Edlo passed a memo saying that the proclamation applies only for future petitions. So I will read this out. Right? It said, this proclamation only applies prospectively to petitions that have not been filed. The proclamation does not apply to aliens who are beneficiaries of a prior something that was filed in the past. That is, ஏற்கனவே ஃபைல் பண்ணதுக்கு it doesn't apply. Are beneficiaries of currently approved petitions, that is, you're CAP exempt, you don't have to go through CAP, or are already having a visa. That is what the USCIS director passed out. சும்மா இருக்காதக்கு அடுத்தது நம்ம CBP director, right? What he went on to say, literally now I'm surrounded with paper here, so please bear with me. He reiterated by saying the proclamation applies prospectively to petitions that have not been filed. It does not impact aliens who are beneficiaries of currently approved petition, any petition filed before 2021, or in this thing, which is consistent with USCIS. But he did clarify that it is not a travel ban. That is one thing he told, the CBP director told, which USCIS memo did not mention about, right? CBP will continue to process H-1B visa holders in accordance to all existing policies and procedures. Nothing changed there. இப்போ சும்மா இருக்காதக்கு இன்னைக்கு கார்த்தால they went ahead and White House issued a clarification through a FAQ. I'm not sure if people saw it. So till now, what we knew until last night, we knew it was only for any new petitions, and it does not impact anyone who is already CAP exempt. But in the line of paranga, they went on to say that this proclamation impacts people for 2026 lottery and any other petition submitted after 2021. Any other could be a transfer, could be an extension, could be an amendment. குழப்பிட்டாங்களா குட்டைய? Now, that is what the White House clarified this morning. Literally ஒரு 2-3 மணி நேரத்துக்கு முன்னாடி. Okay, and they also went on to explain that it is for the prevailing wage, blah, blah, blah. So we have a lot of confusion in our world right now. So
ஒரே ஒரு கேள்விங்க. 2021 சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா? anybody applied after 2021?
After 2020, 1201, sorry. After 1201.
Oh, okay. 2021
I'm sorry. After 1201 ET.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. So what is it that we know? What we definitely know is it's not a travel ban. அது confirm பண்ணிட்டாங்க எல்லாரும். Including the White House FAQ, they confirmed that it's not a travel ban. It definitely applies to CAP. ஆனா கேள்விக்குறி என்னன்னா, the FAQ says 2026 CAP, which was already done. It was supposed to start on October 1st. The proclamation is supposed to last for 12 months. But 2027 CAP is October 1st, which is beyond the term covered in the proclamation. So did she really mean, my guess is they meant 2027 CAP, which starts on March 2026, is what they intended to, but that's not what they're saying. We know that the 100K does not apply to anyone who has a valid visa right now. We know that the memo, நேத்திக்கு அனுப்பிச்ச 2 memo. So this is where it gets tricky, right? நேத்திக்கு இந்த 2 memo that was published is being processed, was given as links in the current FAQs. So essentially what the memo said is valid. Wages will increase, right? We know that this proclamation does not apply to anything that was filed before before today. And it's a one-time fee. This is all we know right now. Now, what we don't know. What is the definition of new? Because the USCIS director and the CBP director's memo says that it will not apply to any petition that was filed prior to the effective date or beneficiaries of currently approved petition. That is, if you have a valid H1 right now or are in possession of visa. But that is not what she said. The White House clarified on this document wherein they said it applies for any other H1B petition submitted after 12:01 a.m. So they confused us all. What we also don't know is how the money would be collected, right? I've been joking saying that do they want it in coins? Do they want a credit card swipe? How do they want it and who do we pay for? Do we pay it at the time of visa or do we pay it with the USCIS application? I can tell you, inni karthala varaikum, when we are trying to file a petition on USCIS's website, it doesn't ask us for the 100K. We were trying to file a transfer petition. It didn't ask us for 100K. So what do you want us to do? And since there is an exemption for national interest, we don't know what is being defined as national interest. Because if you look at the proclamation, they started by cursing out the IT industry. First 3 pageல வந்து IT industry மாதிரி மோசமானவங்க இந்த உலகத்துல யாருமே கிடையாதுன்னு தான் பேசிட்டு then they implemented the H1B across the board because we know H1 is not limited to IT. It can be for doctors, it can be for accountants, it can be for teachers. So in a single swipe, they said, except for national interest, and I don't know what national interest currently is. So this is the current state of this proclamation. You can ask me, Sharda, appo unakku enna dhaan theriyunu? It is a watch and play time. We have to see it as we go along. What I can tell you is the way the proclamation has been drafted or what they are saying is against the APA. You have a valid federal claim under the Administrative Practices Act because this is very arbitrary and capricious what they have done. Ideally, fee decide பண்ணனும்னா it has to go through Congress. Both the Senate and the House has to agree. It have to go through the commentary period, and then the Senate and House has to agree. Then the president has to sign out. The president by himself cannot say that he's going to charge 100K. Actually, by clarifying this in this thing, they actually made it worse for themselves. Initially, when they talked about it as a travel ban, the president has an authority under the national security to prevent travel into the country. If you recall, Pona Darava, he had a Muslim ban. It was gouged under the pretext of a national security, and he is within his rights to do so. But now that they removed the travel ban part of it, this thing is ripe for a federal lawsuit. I know a lot of colleagues of mine are preparing for one. They're just trying to figure out who the right plaintiff would be, because we can't file it anywhere and everywhere. Correct forum paathu panna vendirkum, which is what the attorneys are currently preparing for. So, in a nutshell, this is what is happening, but I'm ready to open it up to questions.
$1 million பே பண்ணாக்கா கோல்டு கார்டு தரேன்னு சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா?
ஆமா.
அது வந்து totally just one time payment. We will get back anything after 5 year or 10 year, or
It is going to be different. The way they have written it, sir, it is different. It is different than EB5. EB5 la you had the provision that you'll get it back from the regional center and all. Yeah, it's a one-time. Hello.
yeah.
It is a one-time payment that allows, and then you'll get the money back. You one-time payment. You give it the money and you don't get the money back, but you'll get a green card instead.
How many year? 5 years or 10 years?
What they have said is 90 days. Secretary of State has to NOM has to define what the process would be to get it.
Okay, this is for if you want, we can get it for whole family also, right?
Again, she has to decide in 90 days. 1 million per family member, 1 million for the entire family. They'll have to clarify. We don't know, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. ரெண்டு questions இங்க இதுல வந்திருக்கு. There are questions and maybe we can open it up. I think mostly you have answered. One question is, does this rule apply to H1B extension after effective date or H1B stamping for existing petition?
I don't know.
Correct. Okay.
I'm sorry. We'll have to see how they are going to clarify it. Ippadeki we don't know, because the FAQ says something different than what the memo says. So we don't know.
Makes sense. Another question, I think easy. I am scheduled to travel to India on Friday, September 26th, and I have US visa appointments on September 30th and October 6th. Should I continue with the plan?
At this point, I'm saying please do not travel unless you have a valid visa. There's no guarantee what will happen at the visa counter, because the way the proclamation says, they say that the Department of State will seek proof of payment before they issue a visa. So at this point, please do not travel unless you are absolutely required to travel.
Makes sense. And
yeah.
then
Few more questions on the forms, madam. One on the petition related change of job with H1B. Going forward, how it will be handled? Will that be considered as a new petition or visa renewal?
Kelvikuri Padeki, because like I said, if we go by what the CBP director and the USCIS director have put in the memo, again, I would trust the memo more than FAQ, because the memo has an authority behind it, whereas an FAQ on a website doesn't, right? Logically speaking. So technically speaking, extension transfers, they shouldn't have it. But my only concern is because the FAQ says any other H1B petition filed after. So we just have to wait a little bit to get some clarity at this point.
Okay, thank you. Next question. I think you answered this, but I'll anyway ask this. Is the 100,000 fee applicable for H1B renewals as well? Please clarify.
இப்போதைக்கு
Don't know.
we don't know.
Yep.
எல்லாரும் அடிக்க போறேன் இப்போ இதுக்கு தான் வந்து
Like correct தான். It's okay. தெரிஞ்சது இன்னொரு அதே on top of that அதே question தான். If I need to transfer my existing H1B visa to new employer, should this pay 100 pay? I don't know. Or
we don't know yet, but what I would suggest to everyone is இப்போதைக்கு everyone be where you are. Don't try anything hanky panky. Transfers இதெல்லாம். Wait till we get to hear more because they are under guidance to tell us within 30 days. So hold off on any transfers or otherwise. However, if you do have a situation wherein I-94 is expiring, then it is something that you need to talk to your immigration attorney because we need to see what we can do to make sure you don't go out of status.
Okay. Next question is, hi, we are currently in US with L1B visa.
Mhm.
Got picked in H1B this year.
Mhm.
But instead of change of status, we filed through
Counselor.
processing. Will this have any impact?
So you may be asked to pay the 100K when you go for stamping, right? Your H1 will become active only when you go for H1B stamping since it was filed as counselor. So I would wait and watch. My guess is this whole thing is going to get rolled back. That is my sincere guess at this point.
Thank you. Next question is, what is the situation if I'm currently on OPT and will move to STEM OPT this Feb?
The
And
pro-
my
yeah,
company,
go ahead, sir. Sorry.
sorry. Yeah, and my company files H1B to me for this first time. Should I pay 100K?
What will happen if you're on OPT, STEM OPT? Basically, if you're on any other status other than H1B, you're fine. H1B matram da this proclamation applies. If
And
you,
the follow-up question is whether my employer applies for new H1B.
my guess is yes, they will ask for 100K based on how they are planning this out.
Yes, thank you. Next question. What is the fundamental difference between executive order and proclamation? Do proclamation need to go through Senate House? I think you answered that.
Yeah. Basically, proclamation is to say Sharda is great. That's all they had to say. It's a proclamation. Executive order is telling different agencies to make sure that Sharda is great. That is an executive order. Either of which does not have to go through Congress. This was passed as a proclamation. It doesn't have standing, essentially, but this government, anything can be expected.
Great. So those are the submitted questions. And there's one question on the chat. I think this doesn't impact L visa and renewals.
It
You
doesn't.
already mentioned it's only H1. Another follow-up question is, I have valid visa till October 30th. Got H1 stamping appointment on October 20 in Mexico. Can I go to Mexico with my family? I have 2 H4 with me for the stamping. This appointment I made on August, so the third country national rule will still be applicable.
The third country national rule is still applicable. You won't be able to get the stamping in Mexico. Should you go to Mexico, it is highly likely, at least based on what we know right now, that you would be asked to pay the 100K because the Department of State has to will ask for proof of payment. That is what the proclamation says. H4s will not have an issue, but they still can't go to Mexico. They may have to go to your home country or the country of residence.
thank you.
Thank you.
Sendili, no.
Yeah, next question is, my extension filed on 11th September, which is 1 week before. Will that have any impact?
நல்ல வேலை செஞ்சீங்க அப்ளை பண்ணிட்டீங்க தப்பிச்சீங்க. It won't have impact.
I think that is the only clarity we have so far. Maybe one of them.
Next question is, I couldn't fill the form now. The answers are this question. Currently, I hold GC EAD and do not have H1B. Have India travel plan in 2 weeks. Is there any challenge seen in traveling with the advance parole?
There shouldn't be an issue with advance parole. Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you. And next question. Is the employer solely responsible for paying the 100K or the visa holder pay the fee instead?
The H-1B fees have to be paid by the employer, cannot be by the employee. That is one of the basic things, fundamentals of a H-1B program. So it has to be paid by the employer.
Okay. Next question. My wife got I-140 approved last week and is currently on H-4 EAD. Her employer is planning to file H-1B extension and COS. Will that have an impact?
It may have an impact, but if you want my professional opinion, stay on H-4 EAD. That is the best thing you can do to yourself right now.
And someone is asking for, to reiterate
what happened. All right, I can do that. No problem.
what was published.
So let me. So the memo on 20th went in and said, the proclamation applies for any future prospective applications that have not been filed. It also went ahead and said that it does not apply to aliens who are beneficiaries of petition that were filed prior to the effective date, that is any future petition. It does not apply to aliens who are beneficiaries of currently approved petitions, that is if you currently are on H1. It does not apply to people who already have a valid H1 non-immigrant visa. Suppose they have already gotten visa stamped. It should not apply to any of them. That is what the CBP director and the USCIS director sent out yesterday. In this morning, what the FAQ came out and said was, it requires a 100K payment for any new H-1B petitions submitted after 1201 ET. This includes 2026 lottery and any other H-1B petition submitted after 1201. So that is what they said. So I hope you're able to understand. So because it said any other H-1B, it includes extensions and transfers and so on. That is how we'll have to read it if we are reading the plain English. So that is where the new confusion has come in, if that helps.
Hello.
Thank you. So the follow-up next. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. நான் தான் அந்த மெக்சிகோ விசா பத்தி கேட்டது ஸ்டாம்பிங். ஆக்சுவலா என்கிட்ட அப்ரூவ்ட் பெட்டிஷன் இருக்கு, பட் ஸ்டில் ஐ எம் நாட் சப்போஸ் டு கோ அவுட் ஆஃப் யூஎஸ் அண்ட் கெட் த ஸ்டாம்பிங். என்கிட்ட வேலிட் விசாவும் அக்டோபர் 30 வரைக்கும் இருக்கு. ஸோ இன் கேஸ் இஃப் எனி திங் கெட்ஸ் ஸ்க்ரூட் அப், ரைட், ஐ கேன் கம் பேக் ஆர்
able to come back, but Mexico, because the third party rule is there, you won't be able to get the stamping in Mexico.
பட் இந்த அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் வந்து நான் ஸ்கெடியூல் பண்ணது ஆகஸ்ட்லேயே பண்ணிட்டேன். அப்போ இந்த ரூல் கிடையாது. என்னோட அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் எதுவும் கேன்சல் ஆகல, அந்த மாதிரி எதுவும்.
You have to reach out to the consulate to see if they are still holding on to the appointment.
Okay. But is that safe? அதான் கேக்குறேன். So will I go, like, will they ask for the 100K payment? அதெல்லாம் கேட்பாங்களா?
கேட்கலாம்.
Oh, okay.
Because what they are saying in the proclamation, where is it? My it clearly says that the Department of the Secretary of State shall verify the receipt of payment of the amount described in this proclamation and then process the visa application. So கேட்கலாம்.
Oh, okay.
So what's your best recommendation in this situation?
If you don't have to travel, don't travel. Why do you need a visa right now?
Yeah, that's what I got. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Next question is, can H-1B transfer be impacted within USA through approved 140?
So I will reiterate. According to USCIS memo, it should not. But according to the FAQ that was issued this morning, it would be. Please wait and watch. Just give it about 30 days and we'll have all clarity on that.
Thank you. So is it okay to travel if we have valid stamped visa for for next 6 to 8 months?
As of today, yes, you can travel. What changes tomorrow? I don't know.
Yep. So that's a follow-up question in a sense to what you said just now. What happens next in few days? Like what type of communication would be, any expectations? That's what.
You would definitely have some sort of communications and clarity that will start coming in slowly and steadily. Because this was a botched up job of a proclamation, right? This is not how it is done. So at some point, they have to sit together and really clarify what they really need, which will happen slowly and steadily because உடனே பண்ணினா it won't look nice. So மூலமா பண்ணுவாங்க. So we'll have to constantly monitor these agencies to see what comes out of it.
Thank you. I have a valid stamped H1 visa till November 2026. I have a travel plan with family by end of October 2025. Will I have any impact when returning back to USA?
Quite honestly, you should not have an impact, but I reiterate, please travel only if it is an emergency. ஏன்னா நீங்க வெளில போயிட்டு உள்ள வரும்போது ஏதாவது மாத்திட்டாங்கன்னா we don't know.
Right.
இன்னும் ஒரு கேள்வி செந்தில், அதுலயே அதுக்கு நீங்க திங்க் ஸ்கிப் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Maybe why does different departments of immigration departments publish contradictory information? Which department we need to rely on?
உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சா எனக்கு சொல்லுங்க சார். But jokes aside, right? I would follow what USCIS and CBP tells me to because they are the ones who are actually processing it. However, the way the current administration is working off, they like to publish tweets and otherwise, and then people react to it. So I think really what happened in this case was they published something and then the department started figuring out what they want to do. So it's a valid question, but really right hand is not talking to the left hand. I would want to see something with a seal of the government.
Thank you. So send the link in your book.
Yeah. I have my visa until May 30, 2026. My 6 years H1B cap is over by the time. I recently got my 140. Would you suggest how soon I can apply for my H1 extension?
You would be able to apply the extension 180 days before, which is November of 2025. Please wait until then because this noise will calm down by then.
Okay. So he has a follow-up question to that, asking whether H1B extension or transfer will be considered as a new petition.
அதான் எங்களுக்கும் தெரியல. That is literally what we don't know when we say if it's going to be considered as a new petition. Because like I said, USCIS and CBP they have said cap exempt petition, that is a transfer and extension and all won't be considered. But the FAQ says that it is any other petition. So we don't know.
Great.
Actually, sir, sorry to interrupt.
Please.
Sharda, can you elaborate a little bit more on the extensions that are due 30th of September next week? Okay. Because that is related to the question that the person has posed, extension 2026. Now, the immediate extension, what is the ideal way to strategize with unknown information about whether it is affected or not?
Okay, it is a little different from what was being asked because he has a visa and H1 until May 30th, 2026. It is not until the end of this month, but there are cases, right? Typically, H1, when you come through CAP, 3 years will be done on September 30th of this year. Now, people, if you have already not filed for an extension, you need to talk to your immigration attorneys, your petitioners, because there are a couple of things that you may want to do. Because adukulla in this whole, if you don't get clarity on this particular item, you would want to consider filing a backup F1 or a B2 petition just so that you can be in the country while we figure out what happens to your to the 100K issue. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the reason why I wanted some elaboration on that is you previously mentioned that the information will trickle over the next 30 days, right? But these people for whom the I-94 is expiring as of 30th of September, they don't have that luxury. So
And hence the recommendation to have another petition, a B2 or a F1 change of status petition filed so that they can be in status while we figure out what is going to happen. Unfortunately, that was the only solution that they have.
fair.
Thank you. Sendil.
I think
Sendil இருக்கீங்களா?
Sorry, I was talking mute. Someone's asking, like, how does the new rule affect H4?
it does not apply to H4. So anyone who is not on H1, you guys are safe.
Okay, great.
Another question, you can read it there. I think Mr.
And
Piyush
someone
Goyal.
asking about Piyush Goyal. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Sendil.
Yeah, someone is asking about how does Piyush Goyal's travel to US would influence this change in proclamation.
If he is able to convince Trump to build another hotel in India, everything will be back to normal. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Okay. I think that's all we have on questions.
Because again, it's all conspiracy theory. Yeah, there is a lot of theories that are going around saying, are they pushing is it because of the tariff rule? Is it because, they want to make India toe the line? It is all speculation. We don't know that yet. நம்ம எவ்வளவு வேணா speculate பண்ணலாம். But understand this also, this administration, Stephen Miller has always been a very anti-H1 person. Just that it took them this long to start doing something about the program. Last year, they were at it from day one. அடி மேல அடி அந்த இந்த படத்துல வருமே அடி மேல அடி மேல அடி அந்த மாதிரி தான் அடிச்சுட்டு இருந்தாங்க. They just started it now in this administration. They just took about 6 months to start.
What's the final form of decision we can trust when it will be giving? It's going to House or any proclamation, any USA's update?
It is a wait and watch situation, right? Unfortunately, it is not immediate information that you have. Only final form of decision we know is travel is okay if you have a visa. That is all we know immediately. What will happen? The reason I'm saying 30 days is because Secretary Noem has been told that she needs to put a process in place within 30 days about the whole thing. So how she's going to collect, for what she is going to collect, that thing will come. She has 30 days as of 19th. So by 18th of next month, October, we should know what is going to happen.
Okay.
Another question. How do, who should be worried, who should not be worried at this point in the visa categories? Like, just a lot of thought in.
Who should worry is people whose H1 is going to expire in the relatively short period of time. They should worry. Who should not worry is people on H4, currently on F1. Yeah, don't ask me, அடுத்த வருஷம் கேப்க்கு அப்ளை பண்ணமே. Yes, அது கஷ்டம்தான். But else H4 EADs, you guys should not worry. One thing that I would want to say, which is totally off the topic, if you don't mind me saying, please be very careful about making sure you follow the rules, right? I see a lot of students who are working at restaurants or working at gas stations. Understand that ICE is going around. I got a call on Friday from a company saying ICE is on the loose in Chicago. If you get picked up, going through the removal process is much more dangerous. So please be very aware of what you need to do to maintain your status. Even H1 holders, I know people who are between projects, be careful. So those things will help you eventually, because things are hard right now.
Yeah. Same question, Nadali, on the same topic before moving on to this. What about having social media posts and stuff regarding, your whatever your thoughts, and are
That's
they
a
monitored?
that's a very good question. Thank you for asking that question. This administration is monitoring, especially with the advent of AI and all that nonsense, what you're posting on social media. They have your social media information because you would have revealed it at the time of filing DS 160. It is not a big deal to find out. I was asked this question yesterday by a student in Chicago. நான் அப்போ பப்ளிக்காக வச்சுட்டு இப்போ ப்ரைவேட்டாக மாற்றிட்டேன். We are seeing 221Gs wherein they're asking you to make it public again. Activism is highly frowned upon. So please don't get involved in this whole Israel-Palestine issues. That's none of our business right now. Right? Be very careful about what you're saying about this administration. This whole Charlie Kirk thing. Go easy, right? An innocuous like to one of these activism, then you might believe in it, you might like it, but you don't know the impact it is going to have. So watch, leave it alone.
Thank you. One more, just follow up on that. Apron, I will continue. So you mentioned about eyes, Lingla. So how do we, obviously it affects everybody. Kids or citizens or non-citizens, green card, because of the color, right? They can just touch anybody and stuff. So some advice for the people, right? When you get approached by ICE or whatever, right? How do we, behave?
It's a very good question. Unfortunately, Supreme Court just made it harder, wherein the new ruling in Supreme Court said they can actually profile you based on your color of the skin. Even if you are a US citizen, profiling was kind of okayed by the Supreme Court. Kavanagh's whole opinion about it. Now, what I do and what I'm telling my family, including myself, is I always have a copy of my identification. So I carry my passport card on me, right? Keta, I'm able to show. In the interim, please be very careful. In students, that applies to anyone else, even if you're a citizen. Don't drink and drive. Call a Uber. You want to have a party, the better solution is get alcohol home, drink at home, don't drive. Because these are easy ways for you to be picked up. So just be aware of your surrounding. Now, what happened with the STEM students in April, if you recall, syllabus was being terminated. And it was because they tried some program that was badly written, and any interaction with the police officer or a government agent was considered as a wrong thing, and they were terminating syllabus. So you just have to be aware of what you should be doing, what you should not. I had a case in Dallas wherein the person said, yes, na thanni adichen, nana Tesla pinadi thane irundhe, self-driving mode. It is still drunken driving. People who have your green cards, you are still removal. You are still considered inadmissible if you clock up something like if you have 2 DUIs, right? If you have a felony charge, just because you have a green card doesn't mean it cannot be taken away from you. So please be careful as to what you're doing.
Okay, thank you. Then one more question. Social media post about Indian politics have impact?
Should not have an impact, but you wouldn't want to say something like Modi put his head down in front of Trump or Modi showed Trump something. அந்த மாதிரி இதெல்லாம் லைக் பண்ணாதீங்க தயவு செஞ்சு.
அந்த சிச்சுவேஷன்ல சும்மா ஒரு ஜோக், 2 கண்ட்ரிக்குமே போக முடியாத நிலைமைக்கு போயிடும்.
இங்கேயும் இல்லை அங்கேயும் இல்லாம இருப்போம் நம்ம.
Okay. And another question அங்க இருக்கு. What about the notification about increase of prevailing wage? How it will affect I-140 process and H-1B visa?
எவ்வளோ இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆக போகிறதுன்னு எனக்கு மண்டே தான் தெரியும். Because BOL website is currently down. It is supposedly under maintenance yesterday, today, and today. So tomorrow we'll know how much it has increased. Now, if you are already on H1, any increase immediately will not impact you because you're still following it through based on your LCA. Any extensions or amendment may have an impact. உங்க PWD approve ஆயிடுதுன்னா the prevailing wage, any increase should not impact. But PWD approve, certify all, the new prevailing wage will come into play.
Thank you. Senthil Adarka.
Ma'am, ஒரு question. So to summarize, basically நம்ம இப்போ stamped visa இருந்தது அப்படின்னா then you are free to travel. Stamped visa இல்லை அப்படின்னா the extension அப்புறம் future stamping is still under question, right? அதுதான் நான் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணேன் இந்த ஃபாலோ.
That is right.
ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் லைக் 30 daysல அது கிளியர் ஆகும்னு சொல்றீங்களா?
30 daysல அவங்க கிளியர் பண்ணணும்னு இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஸோ
ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ.
So, two follow-up questions இருக்குங்க. Can these have any, can even citizenship also be taken away? Any impact on citizenship? Probably you can add GC also to it, right? So what is the impact for if there are any GC holders in this call?
yeah, GC can be taken away. It is within means to take it away, right? It's a privilege. It's not a right. When I say taken away, what it means is you can be deemed inadmissible should you have certain criminal activities, that if you have indulged in certain criminal activities. So for example, 2 DUI, 2 DWIs is equivalent to a felony, and that makes you inadmissible. Now, citizenship is a longer thing. It is not that easy to take it back, to denaturalize someone, but it can happen. But the bar is very, very high.
Okay. So the FAQ clearly says that proclamation does not apply for renewals. Any thoughts?
But I know that it doesn't say that you're looking at the last line. The proclamation does not apply. Does not. It's a double does not. Does not change any payment and fee required. It's talking only about the other fees. It is not talking about the 100,000 fee. However, if you see the first paragraph wherein it says, this proclamation requires an 100K payment to accompany any H-1B petitions submitted after 12:01 Eastern Daylight Time on September 21st. This includes the 2026 lottery and any other H-1B petition submitted after 12:01 Eastern Daylight Time on September 21st. Like I said, it's a really bad way of writing anything and rolling it out.
I think there's a confusion that comes up when people understand, right, new petitions versus extension. Doesn't USCIS and they consider both any petition filed as new?
That's what we don't know how they're considering it.
No, but just as a clarification, any petition that's filed is always considered as a new. If they review that, there's no, like, we distinguish between extensions and new petitions, right?
So USCIS, when we're filing the I-129 petition, there is a different categories, right? They have new, they have H1 new petition, H1 extension, they have H1 amendment. So if you select new, we understand it is for cap. It makes sense. But because it says here, any other H1B petition, it could mean any of them.
Yeah. And how likely is this to survive a legal scrutiny? Like, when
my opinion, nil to nothing. In my firm opinion, this will not survive any. It shouldn't survive a lawsuit.
Yeah, if they wanted to do this, they could have added it to the last bill that they just passed. So,
apparently, it is somewhere mentioned in the Big Beautiful Bill. I don't know where. I quite honestly did not have the energy to read the entire Big Beautiful Bill. Manasilathan bill.
So they have put it in somewhere that this is something that they're going to start doing, that they're going to charge.
That is what I'm hearing from the grapevine, but I cannot verify the truth behind it.
But if they did, then they wouldn't need this proclamation. It's already law.
Again, the Big Beautiful Bill is supposed to be an overarching thing. It did not clarify how they're going to implement it, right? Through and through.
Okay, understood.
Okay, and a few minutes.
Follow-up question. We answered this, Shraddha. Just someone was joined late. So
Sir,
I have
ஒரே question.
a travel planned. Sorry, Guru.
Sorry, time. நீங்க 2 o'clock கரெக்டா? சரி, உங்க டாப் ஆஃப் த அவர் நீங்க லீவ் பண்ணுமா சார்? யூ ஹேவ் அதர் மீட்டிங்?
ஒரு கால் இருக்கு. Sorry.
Okay, super. So
Okay, we'll make it real quick then.
2 minutes, then Deva will take. Yeah.
I have planned travel on October 3 for 3 weeks. Will be re-entering on October 24th. Is it okay to travel, or should I consider cancelling my trip?
If you have a visa, valid visa, you can. But unless it's an emergency, please don't travel. And that has been the theme here.
Okay. And any minimum wage defined by H1B?
Unless they open it up tomorrow, we wouldn't know. எவ்வளோ இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க.
Okay.
மேம் இப்போ அந்த எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் விசாவுக்கு 100K அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து அதாவது இன்கேஸ் ஏதாவது ஃபார்மில் அப்ளை கொஞ்சம் ரூல் கொண்டு வர்றாங்க அப்படி இட் வில் கோ டு ஹவுஸ் அண்ட் அப்ரூவலா இல்லை எந்த ஸ்டேஜில் அவங்க வந்து இது நிற்கும்?
They're passing it as an executive order saying உடனே இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணு. But they should have taken it through Congress. So that's where the lawsuits will come in.
Okay. So last question, a couple of questions. So the new proclamation, is it only going to affect when we re-enter, meaning if we are continuing in US without going out, extending the H1 using approved I-140 without paying 100K? Will it be okay, or will it affect the GC process later?
We don't know, sir.
Okay. So probably related to that, right? So what is the advice you give for, any GC holders hear this call? Either they continue to stay on GC or go and apply for citizenship, or any impact for them?
Thank you for asking this. I should have thought about this question. My bad. If you qualify for naturalization, please go ahead and apply for naturalization. There have been some changes in the NATS rules, wherein they're going to bring in the neighborhood watch, the questioning patterns and all that, which is going to make it more harder to naturalize. They implement pandrathukulla within the next 60 days. If you guys think you have met the 4-year 90 days, 91-day rule, go ahead and apply if you can.
Okay.
Just that ஏதாவது ஒரு place where we want to see the latest details or எதுனாலும் எல்லாத்துக்குமே எங்காவது இருந்துச்சுன்னா where we should go?
என்ன அடிக்கக்கூடாது எல்லாரும். Yesterday, my source of information was Twitter. I actually had to create an account in Twitter to monitor it because they seem to have the first information, and then it sounds wrong, but Twitter seems to be the favorite place. The information. First Twitter la varudhu, adukapra avanga website liye varudhu. So Twitter seems to be thalai.
I know.
Yeah,
thank you. And
thank you so much, Ashwada.
Yeah. Deva.
Thank you patiently, taking all these questions and his very detailed insights.
Sorry to interrupt one more time. We missed Kavya's message there. She seems to be a little bit concerned about owning a home and being on H1B and applying for a H1B transfer. So just answer that question for her, please.
Kavya, H1B transfer, I think your new firm, they themselves will wait for a little bit and file because they don't know if the 100K is needed. But you can own a home on H1B. That should not stop you from owning a home or a property.
Thank you. So Deva can take over.
நன்றி யுவா. நன்றிங்க சரதா மேம். நீங்க உங்களோட பர்சனல் டைம் சண்டே ஒரு கம்யூனிட்டி ஈவெண்ட்டுக்காக அதுவும் வித்தின் ஒரு 24 ஹவர்ஸ்ல நீங்க குயிக்கா டர்ன் அரவுண்ட் பண்ணி எங்களுக்காக வந்து இங்க ஜாயின் பண்ணதுக்கு, ஒரு 1 hour குவாலிட்டி டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு நன்றி. இது என்னத்தை ஞாபகப்படுதுன்னா, கட்டுறதுனால ஆயப்பயன்ற மாதிரி உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்சதை எங்களோட ஷேர் பண்ணது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியா இருக்கு. எக்ஸ்பெஷலி சண்டே அதுவும் ஒரு 24 ஹவர்ஸ்ல கேட்ட உடனே வந்து பண்ணதுக்கு தமிழ்ச்சங்கம் சார்பாகவும் இங்க இருக்கிற கம்யூனிட்டி சார்பாகவும் உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி ஆக்சுவலா.
Absolutely, anytime. நானும் இப்படிதானே வந்தேன். நானும் H1ல வந்ததான். So I understand this thing. But I'll keep you guys posted. யாருக்காவது ஏதாவது கேள்வி இருந்ததுன்னா immigration@kodamlaw.com is an easy way to reach out to me. But எனக்கு ஏதாவது update வந்தா I'll definitely keep you guys in the loop.
ரொம்ப நன்றிங்க Shraddha. And adding to what Deva's message, thank you a lot for detailed insights and guidance, everyone, guiding everyone here with patiently answering all the questions. And also thanks to all the participants, for your attending this session and contributing here with your questions, which gave insights to everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
நன்றிங்க எல்லாருக்கும்.
நன்றி.